Everybody. Thanks for coming back. I've got another book for you. So, this is the first book you'll hear by Gail Gibbons, the author and illustrator. She has created many nonfiction books with facts about animals she thinks are interesting. So, what kind of book do you think this might be? Fiction, nonfiction? What do you think? And why do you think that? So, this book is called Penguins. So, Gail Gibbons says that she asked a lot of questions when she was young, and now she thinks of questions that she can answer for children. So I want you to think about what questions you might have right now about penguins, and let's see if she answers them in this book. And I just read it. It's amazing, and I actually learned quite a few new things. Here come the penguins, straight and tall. They walk with a waddle, yet look stately and dignified. Some kinds of penguins. There are 17 different kinds of penguins. The smallest is the little blue penguin. It's about 1 foot tall, which is 30 centimeters. And you guys are doing measurement right now, so you know all about this. The biggest of all penguins is the emperor penguin, which is about 4 feet, 120 centimeters tall. All penguins have black or bluish gray backs and white bellies. The patterns around their necks and heads are what make them look different. Some have colorful patches, others show off brightly colored crests, but they all have the same basic body shape and characteristics. So we've got emperor penguin, macaroni penguin, king penguin, chin strap penguin, gentoo penguin, Galapagos penguin, little blue penguin, which is also known as the fairy penguin, the rockhopper penguin, this is the crest, Magellantic penguin, yellow-eyed penguin, African penguin, also called the black-footed penguin, and the Adelaide penguin. And this right here shows you the different parts. So they labeled it: tail, webbed feet, wing, belly, breast, throat, beak or bill, crown, eye, neck, and back. All penguins are found in the southern hemisphere, which if you look at our whole world, down here, this bottom half is the southern hemisphere. South Pole? No, North Pole. The Adelaide and emperor penguins never leave Antarctica. Others live in New Zealand, Australia, South Africa, South America, and the Galapagos, and many other islands. So this shows you each one of the penguins by color, and then the map shows you where they live. Penguins are birds, but they lost their ability to fly millions of years ago. Over time, they began to spend a lot of time hunting for food in frigid waters. Their wings changed into powerful, rigid flippers for swimming. Penguins have sleek, smooth bodies that glide easily through the water. They are excellent swimmers and divers. Larger ones can swim faster than 25 miles an hour, which is the speed limit in a neighborhood. The emperor penguin can dive deeper than any other bird, about 1,500 feet. Now I want you to look on this page at the way Gail Gibbons drew the penguins to look like they're swimming or standing on the ice. So what do you notice about that? Groups of penguins may stay at sea for weeks at a time. They leap in graceful arcs through the water to grab breaths of air. Penguins feed underwater on krill, fish, and other sea creatures. Their natural enemies are fur and leopard seals, sea lions, sharks, and killer whales. And that shows each of those there. Krill is a small shrimp-like creature, in case you're wondering about that. When the penguins want to leave the water, they can leap up as much as 6 feet onto a rocky shore or iceberg. They climb rocks easily, hopping from one to the other. Sometimes penguins speed over snow and ice by dropping onto their bellies and sliding. So I want you to think right now, what have you learned from Gail Gibbons about penguins so far that you didn't know before? A penguin's many feathers are small and stiff. They form a warm and waterproof covering. In really cold places, penguins have an extra layer of long, downy feathers underneath. They also have thick layers of fat to keep them warm. Once a year, many penguins come together to form colonies called rookeries. It is time for the penguins to mate and raise their young. At this time, they make loud croaking and trumpeting sounds. Most of the time, penguins are quiet. What a noisy place a rookery is with all the harsh penguin calls. There can be hundreds, sometimes thousands of penguins in a rookery. They have no trouble finding their mates. Male, female. While courting, they chase each other. Sometimes they hold their wings away from their bodies and hold their beaks up high. Usually, the same pair mates and raises its young together. It's time to build their nests. Some penguins make their nests in burrows or rocky crevices. Others build nests in the open using sticks and grasses. Some arrange small stones in a circle. The two biggest penguins, the emperor penguin and the king penguin, don't build nests. There's the Adelaide penguin right there. Soon after the nest is built, it is egg laying time. Most penguins usually lay 2 eggs. While one parent keeps the eggs warm, incubating them, the other one searches for food. Incubation can last 30 to 60 days, depending on the kind of penguin. The penguins fiercely guard their eggs and their nesting territory. So when the eggs are kept warm, that's called incubation. King penguins and emperor penguins lay only 1 egg. The female quickly passes her egg over to the male. He carries the egg on top of his feet. The egg is kept warm by a flap on his belly called the brood pouch. He carefully waddles around short distances without dropping the egg. During incubation time, the female swims out to sea to feed. The male emperor penguins gather together in the cold, dark polar winter. The temperature can get as low as negative 60 degrees Fahrenheit. They protect themselves by huddling close together, constantly moving from the inside to the outside of the group and back to the inside to stay warm. During this time, they don't eat. They fast, living off stored body fat, and they can lose up to 45% of their body weight. After about 65 days, the egg hatches. The female returns around this time. It's her turn to care for the chick. She tucks it under her brood pouch to keep it warm. Then the male emperor penguin is free to swim out to sea to feed. The chick weighs about 11 ounces and is covered in gray soft down. The mother has food in her belly. When the chick is hungry, the mother throws up or regurgitates a meal for it. When the father returns, both parents take turns feeding and keeping the chick warm. The chick grows. When it's about 8 weeks old, it weighs around 4 pounds. Now the chick is too big to stay under its parents' brood pouches. The chicks begin to gather into groups called crochets. They huddle together to stay warm. When the sun shines, they scurry around, getting stronger and practicing their balance. When a parent returns, it calls with a cry that only its chick knows. The chick rushes to its parent. Mealtime! The chick is fed one huge meal every few days. It takes time for the parents to make each trip out to sea for food. All penguins are raised in similar ways. When the chicks are 3 to 10 months old, they begin to lose their gray down and grow adult feathers. Now they are called fledglings. Off they go to live on their own. They learn to hunt and survive without the help of their parents. In about 4 years, they will raise their young, return to raise their own young. At one time, the number of penguins was declining, and declining means going down. Eggs were harvested and penguins were hunted for their skins. Their fat was boiled down to make oil. That's terrible. Today, penguins are in danger. Sometimes oil spills coat their feathers. Overfishing reduces their food supply. They get tangled in fishing nets. Tourists can do more harm to colonies of penguins by disturbing them. Now there are laws to help protect them. People work together to help penguins survive in our modern world. Some areas have been named penguin sanctuaries. Penguins can be found in zoos and aquariums. People work in their care for penguins in clean, safe environments. It's fun to watch penguins play. Penguins. The first penguin lived about 40 million years ago. Prehistoric penguins stood about 6 feet tall. King penguins can live to be 20 years old. The largest penguin is the emperor. It can weigh about 90 pounds. The smallest penguin is the little blue or the fairy penguin that weighs about 3 pounds. Then it said there are 17 kinds of penguins. The 5 not illustrated earlier in this book are these 5. So the Fiordland penguin from New Zealand, the Snarles-crested penguin from New Zealand, the erect-crested penguin from New Zealand, the Peruvian penguin from Peru and Ecuador, and the royal penguin from south of Australia. Gosh, a lot of the questions I had about penguins was answered in this book. I hope you guys had that same thing happen. I look forward to reading your writing and hearing from you guys today about our first Gail Gibbons book. Have a great rest of your day. Bye, guys.